On behalf of the 2009 graduating class, it is my pleasure to welcome you to Pickens High School 80th commencement. Natasha and I are pleased that you have joined us today. Now would you please stand and repeat the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Guest, Mr. George Schell, Mr. Terry George, Dr. Fairs, school board members, teachers, parents, students, and friends. Lend me your ears. I come to welcome you to and celebrate the 80th commencement of Pickens School, not, hopefully, to give a lecture. The memories I have made here at Pickens School will be kept in my heart forever. The lessons I have learned will be put to good use. This goes for both of us seniors. Senior year for me was like Act 5 of Shakespeare's Hamlet. It came all too fast. From finalizing ACT scores, to college open houses and college applications, to filing the FAFSA, to scholarship deadlines, to dealing with senioritis and sleep deprivation, to maintaining high grades and staying involved in extracurricular activities, to choosing a college, and to finally realizing that high school is over and that I am graduating. Over the past 4 years, I have learned that time management is an important key to success. At first, I thought that this meant setting aside enough time to do schoolwork, reading and studying for school. Thus, I worked the hardest ever my first few years of high school. So hard, however, that I almost forgot to enjoy those years. A college freshman whom I talked to at a scholarship competition gave me advice. She said that, as a senior, she concentrated especially hard on her studies, yet did not set aside enough time to experience high school. She regretted this attitude and encouraged me to enjoy my senior year, because it only happens once. I took her advice and have indeed benefited from it. So these are my 2 pieces of advice. Well, what I've learned to the class of 2009 and future classes. High school is a place to learn and grow. However, you won't learn everything from the textbooks. Much will come from your experiences. Second, your grades in school do not mean anything unless they reflect what you know. I have come to realize not to direct my studies to a particular grade, but rather for complete understanding. Aiming to perfect myself, I have worked hard throughout high school. I will never forget my feelings, which my sister Natalie and I often referred to as drowning in molasses. This was the feeling we got, for example, when we were 1, totally blank about ideas for an essay due the next day, and 2, we had to study for several other tests or quizzes at the same time. At least I had someone to share the pain with, and we always ended up making it through. I have heard that you shouldn't take your senior yearbook to college with you your freshman year. The thought is that you'll be making new friends and shouldn't be bogged down by the reminder of your old friends. Oh well, I'm taking mine. First, I worked so hard this year to make the book, and I wanted to show it off, especially if I join the yearbook club. Second, memories are important to me, and having the yearbook will remind me never to lose contact with my fellow classmates and peers. However, I will of course move on and make new friends. My memories of the years spent here at Pickens School will last forever. They were some of the best of times, they were some of the worst of times. Of all the classes Mrs. Knotts has taught, I'd have to say that I most enjoyed literature, from the challenging Shakespeare plays and all the noteworthy quotes we memorized, to the thought-provoking novels of Dickens. Now that I think about it, Those essays we had to write after reading each novel and play were pretty helpful in stimulating my brain. Mrs. Currens. From her class, I remember my need for creativity on those history and civics projects. By the way, Mrs. Currens, I'm glad you had us redo that PowerPoint. Otherwise, we would have never learned about those bills. Mr. Shiflett, wow. Even though I did have music, health, and gym class with you, my fondest memories come from French 1 and 2. From those crazy scavenger hunts, to the Tele Française, to consistently being the Boule champion. Merci, Monsieur Shiflett. Vous étiez le professeur Le Malheur. Oh, and I'll be singing those French songs at college and with my sisters. Mr. Hudak, both father and science teacher. I'm sure you already know my feelings about astronomy, so we won't get into that. However, biology class this past year was no bore. The fun began when we finally got to start dissecting. Joe, I'm sorry if you didn't find it so fascinating. I know I did. Mrs. Hudak, mother and math teacher, I'm still not sure whether I like geometry or algebra more, but I do know that pre-cal this year was a little strenuous on the brain. Lastly, yearbook class. Yep, that was fun. Oh, and not to mention a little stressful. Photography was one of my favorite parts, in addition to designing and being creative. I'd especially like to thank Felicia and Natalie for their help over the past 3 years. Just remember, Felicia, we still have to finish this year's book. I mustn't fail to remember the junior class, which has been together with us seniors all year. One of my most recent memories is of the time when our junior-senior class made pizzas together for our fundraiser, and afterwards cooked a few extras in the kitchen for ourselves. Boy, was that fun. To attend college or not to attend college, that was never a question for me. It was an automatic. That was a question that Joe asked himself, and sadly, he will not be attending college this fall when I do. Perhaps he will later, though. As for me, I have chosen to attend Bridgewater College in Virginia with an undeclared major. From there, I will trust in God to help me find my purpose. Thank you, and congratulations, class of 2009.
As always, Mr. Zigafus, thank you. It is an honor to have Mr. George Shell as our commencement speaker today. He was born and raised in Clarksburg. He is a 2001 graduate from Robert C. Byrd High School, and he entered WVU after graduation. He was a walk-on football player playing defensive back with a full scholarship. He played football for 4 years, was letterman, and during his football career at WVU, they won 3 Big East championships and the Nokia Sugar Bowl. He graduated from WVU in 2005 with a degree in marketing. He enrolled at Fairmont State University, where he lettered in baseball following WVU. From May 2006 to 2008, he was a defensive graduate assistant at the Citadel in Charleston, South Carolina, where he also earned his master's degree. In May 2008, he returned to WVU, where he is presently a defensive graduate assistant defensive backs coach. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to Mr. George Shell.
Joe and Natasha, that was great. I didn't get to speak at my graduation, and to be honest with you, I remember really wanting to. And I've heard about 100 times a day, thank you for being here. But really, thank you for having me here. I mean, it's an honor to speak at any graduation, and this whole school and this community is really unique. We've been kind of touring the state the last month, going to fundraisers in Beckley and all the big cities. So I've gotten to see the state. I've been all around the state, but this is by far the neatest, the most unique that I've been to. And to be honest with you, I'm from Clarksburg. I graduated with over 200 kids in my class, and which isn't necessarily that big, but Notre Dame High School was a single-A school, and they graduated, I think, 25. And so when they said you were going to be speaking at a small school, I was thinking 25 or 20. I thought if it's down in the teens, it's pretty small. When they told me 2, I was in total shock. But there's hundreds of thousands of kids that graduated this week from big schools. And I don't think there's anywhere else in America that has a graduation like this. I think you were the only 2 kids in the country that get to go through this. So you need to be proud of it. I know I'm proud to be here and to be part of it. And, graduation day is, it's a day in your life that you're filled with a lot of emotions, a wide range of them. You're happy to be done with school, you're sad to be done with school, you're excited to be in the real world, you're nervous to be in the real world. I can remember that. But one thing I'll tell you too is there's not too many days in your life where you get to experience that range of emotion. So you need to take this and just enjoy this day. Now there's a lot of younger coaches on our staff, but I'm probably the youngest. And so getting to come here and speak to you guys, I think I can kind of relate. I can remember my high school graduation. I can clearly remember. I can remember exactly where I was sitting. And it was June 2nd, 2001, and Robert C. Byrd High School. And out of all the emotions, I think I was the most worried. Because people had always told me, high school is the greatest time of your life. It's the greatest time of your life. You got to live it up. Well, let me just tell you, too, that is false, that your best days are definitely ahead of you. But, in all honesty, high school not being the greatest day of your life, this is a big day. High school graduation is, in my own opinion, of course I'm not that wise yet, but there's 4 big moments, and this is to be debated, that really change your life. One of them is when you get your driver's license. That's your first step to independence. The second one is your high school graduation, because now you are in the driver's seat. You are in control of your own life and your own destiny. It's your decisions. And of course, the third and fourth would be marriage and birth of a child, which I haven't gotten to yet. But in all honesty, this is a really a big stepping stone in both of your lives. Now, when I was sitting in graduation, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I wanted to be a college football coach since the time I was 10 years old. It's the only thing I really can ever remember that I wanted to do. And it's a profession that it's not exactly the most popular. Kids at 10 years old don't really want to be high school coaches, and it's a tough profession to get into. I heard about 10, you can't do that. It's to every, you can. But I went into it anyway. And I went to West Virginia actually originally as a walk-on player, which means you're at the bottom of the depth chart. I chose to go there because I thought if I can just be a part of the practice squad and just rough it out for 4 years, that I would be able to go better myself and have a foot in the door in coaching. So I passed up scholarships at smaller schools to go to West Virginia University to play football, never expecting to ever play. And I got there, and it was a long, hard road, but I worked hard, and I ended up actually earning a full athletic scholarship and playing and lettering 4 years. And some of the greatest times in my life had come out of that, but I had not planned it that way. But I know I'm, I guess, a little bit young, but I'm not that young. I'm a lot older than you guys, probably about 10 years older. But when I thought about what I was going to say today to you two, and to everybody, I thought about if I could go back in time and get the chance to speak at my graduation, what would I tell myself in my graduating class? And I can remember listening to the valedictorian and listening to the people that got to speak, and I really just wished I could get up there and say something. And I thought if I just would have worked a little bit harder, if I would have done a little bit more schoolwork, then I would get up. I could be up there. And so going into college, that one day kind of changed my mentality on things. I saw that hard work paid off in the end. Because the students that studied and did all that, they might not have played the sports that I got to play and do some of the social things, I guess you could say. But they won in the end. On graduation day, they were the ones that had won in the end, and I was just another face in the crowd. And so I asked myself, what would I tell myself? And I thought really long and hard about it. And I came up with 3 things that I would want to be aware of. And these honestly what I would tell my graduating class, or in the future, my children. Number 1, if you're going to get good at anything, get good at making decisions. Because the decisions you make will ultimately shape your life. Now, there's minor decisions, like what am I going to wear today? What am I going to eat for breakfast? And then there's major decisions. What am I going to do next? What am I going to major in? Now, you shouldn't be nervous about these big decisions, but you've got to think long and hard, because what you choose is going to shape the rest of your life. When it's time to get married, you've got to make sure that the decisions you make, you're not just shooting at the hip. It's something that you've thought about and make an educated decision. And then once you do that, stick to it and don't look back. If I wouldn't have gone to West Virginia, maybe I would have gone to a smaller school and played, and maybe I would have won the lottery and been a millionaire. But you know what? I wouldn't have traded any of that in to be here right today. And the only reason I got into coaching like I did is by the decisions that I made. I decided to take the long road and to go to West Virginia University as a non-scholarship athlete at first. I decided to stick with it, even though it seemed like there was no light at the end of the tunnel. I decided to go, that it was time. I had to move to Charleston, West Virginia, or South Carolina, I'm sorry. It was just in Charleston. I had to move 10 hours away from my family, but I had to do it not knowing that I'd ever come back to West Virginia. It was hard to leave home. And I got to leave home, and went down there, and I was homesick, and I wanted it, but I stuck it out. And I ended up coming back. But if it wasn't for those decisions that I made, I wouldn't be here right now. So the decisions that you make now that you're graduated from high school are ultimately going to tell the story, they're going to shape the story of your life. Number 2, it's a kind of a crazy world sometimes. And sometimes you don't think you have control of anything. But the one thing that you will always have control over is your work ethic. You will always be able to control how hard you work. I've been in situations as a football player where it seemed like I would never play, nothing was going to come out of it, but I was in control of how hard I worked. And let me tell you, as a football coach, hard work makes a difference. It is the biggest difference maker from players that make it and players that don't. I see it every day. At that level, the talent everybody that you bring in is talented. We have 85 full scholarship athletes. Only about 40 of them actually play. They're all the same when you bring them in. They all have about the same talent. But the ones that play are the ones that work. The ones you hear about in the news and on TV, those are the guys that go and work every day. Now there's another 40 guys on that team, 45 guys on that team that were just as talented coming out of high school, but you have no clue who they are. It's because that what they lack is a work ethic. And they end up going 1, 2, maybe 3 years, and then they fade away. The work ethic is what will make a difference. That will separate you from the competition. You can outwork anybody. Anybody can outwork anybody. At golf, I might never be as good as Tiger Woods, but if I wanted to, I could outwork him. It'd be tough. But anybody can outwork anybody. And the one compliment that you need with hard work is perseverance. Because when you're working hard, you expect results because it's tough. But it doesn't just happen right away. You have to believe in what you're working at, continue working hard, and results will come. But the light isn't always at the end of the tunnel. And third, this was the one I really thought. Decisions were easy. Work ethic was one. I thought, what else would I tell myself? And then it came up. You've got to continually strive every day to better yourself. Set goals and work to achieve them. Sports is all about goals. Right now I'm an assistant defensive backs coach. I would do anything to one day be a head coach at West Virginia. It's a long way away. It's a tough thing to do. But every day I wake up, I have a goal to better myself. Every day comes along, you can get better. You can work to get better. The day where you wake up and you no longer feel the need to get a little bit smarter, get a little bit tougher, work a little bit harder. When the day comes when you're not working towards anything, then you might be in a little bit of trouble. Always work on bettering yourself. Whether you go to college, whether you don't go to college, there's always goals out there. And just because you make some decisions now doesn't necessarily mean that you can't change them later in life. Always work on bettering yourself and don't feel that time is against you. You've got all the time in the world. You guys are 17, 18 years old. You've got a lot of time. If you continue to try to better yourself, you don't know how long 10 years is. A lot's happened to me since I graduated high school. And it wasn't exactly how I planned it, but it worked out. You might say, how do I know this? How do I know that? Well, where did I come up with those 3 things? Because I see it every day. That's what I do. That's part of my job. I see kids, athletes, people that are your age come into our program. We recruit them out of high school when they're your age. They go through their high school graduation. We get them when they're 18 years old. We see them through till they're 22, until they graduate. And like I said, some fade away, some stay and make it. But the ones that make the right decisions, the ones that work hard, and the ones that set goals and every day try to get better and better are the ones that make it. Football, it's a lot like life. You win, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. A lot of the time, the way you react to a win or to a loss determines the outcome of the next game. You have to set goals, you have to work hard, and you have to make good decisions. You have to have good judgment. Now, if you keep those three things in mind, I would tell myself, and I'm telling you, if you keep those three things in mind, you can't be guaranteed success. Success is never guaranteed. But if you keep those three things in mind, if you make good decisions and you work hard and persevere, and you wake up every day continually trying to better yourself, trying to get just that much better every day, then I can guarantee you, and I promise you, that your best days are ahead of you. You've got your whole life. I'm telling you, your best days are ahead of you. And I'll leave you with my final thought. And I've thought about this a while, and I didn't really think about saying it until I got here today. But I'll tell you a quick story. When I moved to Charleston, South Carolina, I grew up in Clarksburg, West Virginia as they come. Went to high school in West Virginia, went to college in West Virginia. Didn't really venture outside the state a whole lot. And I was a kind of a kid that I couldn't wait to get out of the state finally. I thought, I'm West Virginia. We've got this. I want to go out. I want to see the country. So I got to go to Charleston, South Carolina, which is a beautiful place right on the beach. And it was exactly the place I pictured where I wanted to go. And I got down there and just happened to have on a West Virginia shirt. And I got ripped for having that West Virginia shirt by everybody. I didn't get one nice comment. In fact, I was waiting in line. This is in the first week. I wore West Virginia hat. That's all I had was West Virginia stuff. I would wear a West Virginia shirt, West Virginia hat. And everybody would say, "Oh, West Virginia, a bunch of you guys are, every joke you could possibly hear." But I shrugged it off. Until one day, we were waiting in line to go into a seafood restaurant. And a nice old woman, and there's a lot of money down there. So a nice old woman and an old gentleman came up, and I could tell that they were well off. And the lady looked at me and said, "What is that, West Virginia?" And the way she said it, I thought, "Oh, finally, maybe she's got a daughter that went to West Virginia." And she says, "I don't know if I'd wear that here if I were you." I said, "Why?" "Well, do you guys not like West Virginia? Is there a rivalry that I don't know about?" She said, "No, but it's not South Carolina." And I thought, how dare she say that to me? And from that time on, whenever I met anybody, before it was, "Where are you from?" I was Clarksburg, West Virginia, where I almost wanted to say, "Where are you from?" "I'm from about an hour south of Pittsburgh." I'm embarrassed that I even thought that. But from that point on, when I would meet somebody, didn't matter who it was, the president of the school, the Citadel, General John Rosa, who was a 3-star general in the Air Force, I would shake his hand. He'd say, "Where are you from, son?" I'd say, "I am proudly from Clarksburg, West Virginia. And I love being from West Virginia." Before they had any jokes. And that was it. I didn't hear any more jokes, any more ripping. They knew I was from West Virginia, and I was proud to be from West Virginia. And I leave you, no matter how good you might make it, no matter how bad things might get, never, ever, ever forget where you're from. And never forget who you are. And this is your graduation. This is really unique. There are, like I said, hundreds of thousands of kids that are faces in the crowd in big cities that are getting to graduate. And you are the Pickens High School class of 2009. Never forget that. You may move on and you may leave out of the state. You may stay right here. But no matter what, always remember who you are and be proud of that. And know who you're from, where you're from, and be proud of that. Because those are two things, other than your work ethic, that's never going to change. And I'm proudly from West Virginia. And I love being from West Virginia. And this is a great school. There are great people. Everybody, I've met, this is really unique. And I know I said that to everybody I've met. It's because I'm blown away by this. This is really nice. This is nicer than my graduation. My graduation was big. You have really lucky, you two. And so, Pickens High School class of 2009, may God bless you both and the best of luck. Thank you.
On behalf of the Pickens School community, I would like to thank Mr. Shell for being with us today. I'm certain that his words of inspiration will not only resonate with our seniors, but also our underclassmen who are attending today. And so on behalf of the school, I would like to present you with a gift. To remember your day.
Thank you. I will wear this proudly, I promise.
The first award I would like to present is the Bridgewater College McKinney Ace Scholarship. It is valued at $17,500 per year, and it is awarded to Natasha Hudak. And in addition to the $17,500 scholarship, Natasha received a $500 grant from the college also. Natasha? At this time, Mr. Lynn Phillips from Governor Joe Manchin's office will present the Promise Scholarship.
Thank you, and good afternoon, and congratulations to the class of 2009. It is my great honor to be here this afternoon on behalf of Governor Joe Manchin III. The governor would like to take this opportunity to thank Superintendent Jim Ferris, Randolph County Board of Education members, Principal Diane Bettler, and all the teachers, faculty, service personnel, and all the school employees for what you do to help prepare our young people for success. And all the all the parents and family members for helping these bright students excel. I'd also like to say thank you from the governor to George for being such a proud West Virginian. And I hope you carry it on. I am here today and pleased to be here to recognize West Virginia's newest promise of scholarship recipients. You have proven yourself in the classroom, and today you are being awarded for your achievements. This is the 8th year for the Promise Scholarship. More than 26,000 West Virginian students have already been awarded the Promise Scholarship over the past several years. West Virginia is one of 16 states nationally that has a broad-reaching merit-based financial aid program. The governor believes that our young people can earn a living, establish a good quality of life right here in West Virginia if we all work together. The Mountain State may be small in size, but our passion and determination to succeed is larger than life. Our state needs more sharp, young individuals who are willing to contribute to its future growth. It is with your leadership that our state has a chance to reach its highest potential. Governor Joe Manchin congratulates our scholars and the entire class of 2009 and wishes the class the best in the future. Thank you, and now I'd like to present the Promise Scholarship to Natasha Hudak. Congratulations on behalf of Governor Joe Manchin III. Thank you all, and have a wonderful afternoon.
West Virginia has a program that honors students who excel academically. Those who take the ACT test in West Virginia can have a composite score of a 1 to 36. If a student receives a 26 or above on the ACT test score as a composite score, that student is designated a top of the mountain scholar for academic excellence in the Mountain State. And this year, I would like to present this award to Natasha Hudak. Each year, every valedictorian in the state of West Virginia receives a certificate and a savings bond from the office of Robert C. Byrd, our U.S. Senator. Now I would like to read this award. It says, "To all to whom these presents shall come, this is to certify that Natasha Hudak of Pickens School, having attained the highest scholastic average in the graduating class of 2009, is hereby awarded a United States savings bond in recognition of a superior academic performance. My sincere wishes for continued success in education and in future life accompany this award. Robert C. Byrd, United States Senator." Natasha. Mr. Hollis Vance, a member of the Elks Lodge number 1135, will now present the Lodge's Award.
Good afternoon. The Elks Lodge number 1135 of Elkins has given for the past 20 years a donation for the most improved student of the senior class. And the winner of that is Natasha Hudak. Thank you.
Each year, the Pickens High School Alumni Association awards a scholarship to a member of the senior class. This year's scholarship is presented to Natasha Hudak, and it is in the amount of $600. Mr. Art Wilson, a member of the Pickens American Legion Post number 122, will now present the Post Awards.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here again this year, as it is every year. And Post 122, I'd like to give an award to our graduating class, Natasha Hudak. And to Joseph Crystal. Thank you.
Each year, the Randolph County Education Association has a random drawing for scholarships for seniors who have a parent or parents belonging to the association. One of the county recipients this year is Natasha Hudak. And it states that Randolph County Education Association Academic Excellence in the Mountain State Certificate of Recognition designates Natasha Hudak as the 2008-2009 Academic Scholar in recognition of outstanding academic achievement. Congratulations. Also, students in West Virginia who attained the distinction of valedictorian are awarded the Valedictorian Award. This year, our award goes to Natasha Hudak. And it states, a scholarship award presented to Natasha Hudak in recognition of outstanding academic achievement and leadership by the administration and faculty of Pickens School. And this is our Valedictorian Award. Congratulations. And thank you.
Will the seniors please rise? Dr. Ferris, on behalf of the faculty and staff of Pickens School, I certify to you that the members of this 2009 senior class have met all the requirements prescribed by the state of West Virginia and the county of Randolph for graduation and diploma. I do hereby present for your acceptance the senior class of 2009 of Pickens School.
Thank you. On behalf of the state of West Virginia, under the authority of the West Virginia Code and the West Virginia School Board policy, representing your staff, your principal, and the Randolph County Public Schools, I pronounce you graduates. Congratulations, and God bless you.
Joseph William Chrysler. Natasha Bethany Brooke Hudak.